Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. My very special guest today, Lash Fary. We're talking about swag, and we're talking swag bags, and more specifically. So, is it called? Years ago, I was a bag boy at a grocery store. What you do, what your employees do, it's not the same thing, is it?
Well, there's elements, that whole
Elements.
component of getting everything, because we pack everything into suitcases because that way
Uh,
we can just wheel it in and out and it's easier to sort of transport. And for a lot of these folks, if they're leaving town right after, it's literally all in a rolling suitcases. Last year, we used a brand called Nomadic, and it was all just in these amazing Nomadic hard case suitcases. We used to come to call it Olympia luggage. We've had Toomey, pretty much every luggage brand we've used at one point or another. But yeah, that sort of Jenga, is that the game Jenga? Yeah,
yeah,
Jenga aspect of getting it all to fit so that like it
right.
all doesn't like shift when you're moving it and stuff. There is an element of sort of a bag checkout to it.
What do you call that position?
Well, that's something we all do, but that's just a production assistant.
Okay. Qualifications do you look for? What must one have to get a job with you?
Oh, well, pretty much we all do everything. So most of us are doing sales. We're doing production on production days. I've got several production staff, like actual production people that we hire during like Grammy week, for example. And those are just hardworking. Oftentimes, this is not meant to be discriminatory, but they're often dudes because there's heavy lifting and we're moving
Yeah.
pallets and there's pallet jacks and, all that kind of stuff. So, people who can handle some heavy lifting and moving boxes and stuff, it's very unglamorous. It's literal production of opening boxes and putting things together. And my whole driveway is a production line of all the different products that are going into the bag. And then the suitcases are being shoveled around. And it's a lot of storage. So it's people who, are not afraid of a little work. I grew up in the South and on a farm sort of environment. So I'm not afraid of a little hard work. And so there's sort of that element to things for sure. And then there's the fun, glamorous part at the events and stuff. But even those, you're running around and you're getting people's car pulled around so that they can get all loaded up. And so it's a nice combo.
How do you properly stage a bag? So are you saying that you put them in suitcases and then the person takes that with them
Yeah. So as they're
rather than
walking
like a
out, there's
regular
like a
handled?
wheeling bag that's full that they just wheel just like you would when you're going to LAX with your suitcases that you check in.
Is there a rule for how you pack it or stack it, or or
Well, it's sort of
common
like the
sense?
shapes have to fit together, but then it also depends on how perishable things are or breakable. So, for example, we had these. This is an amazing company. I know you're a foodie. It's called Posh Pretzels.
Hmm.
This lady makes the most delicious pretzels. I had so many chocolate covered pretzels. These are the best. She's based out of Connecticut. She's got so many great accounts with Amex and all these like amazing manufacturers that she does these deals with. But she did these pink ones for Wicked this year. And any event, because these are crushable, they can't just be put at the bottom of the bag. They have to be at the top of the bag. And we usually try to put something like a t-shirt around anything that might be soft or breakable or squishable, or like this, for example. This was legitimately, even though it was probably the least expensive item in the bag, my favorite thing this last year in our gift bag. So these are called True Fru, and these are their raspberries. They're freeze-dried raspberries covered in chocolate. They are so delicious, the best
Yum.
snack. And it's fruit. This is the best maple syrup in the world. So this is another great example. It's in a glass bottle. So this then has to be bubble wrapped before we
Right.
put it into it, because the last thing you want is the world's best maple syrup from Blanc Par Rouge leaking all over all the gifts in your gift bag. So there's just some, pretty practical elements that go into how it gets staged in terms of how it all fits together.
So my old bag boy training days might apply a little bit. I might have a little common sense
I
there.
think a
If
lot
I
of
work
that
for
would
you.
be extrapolating towards this for sure.
Is there a moment that, I mean, because watching someone open one of these swag bags, one of your bags, must just be really a lot of fun to see their expression, see them enjoy what you've put together for them.
It is fun. I mean, I think that the true sort of equivalent is like a child on Christmas morning. I mean, that's what it's like. And most celebrities who, I've sat with as they go through the bag, they create piles. So it's the pile for what they're keeping, the pile for their mom, the pile for their wife or husband. And so it's the pile system of what they're going to do with all the great products, and that's to us the regift element, which
Hmm.
we embrace regifting. We think it's wonderful, and this is sort of a gift tip in your real life. I think regifting in your real life is also fine if you regift with thoughtfulness. So if someone gives you something that you're not going to use and you haven't, it's an amazing product. If you regift it to somebody who it's appropriate for, like if somebody gives me skincare, I'm going to always keep that for myself. But if you give someone who's not into skincare or they're allergic or they're very sensitive to smells and they have to use their own specific thing, you can regift that skincare to somebody that you know loves trying new products and new things and is like into the beauty world and stuff. So just give it a little bit of thought.
So that's swag etiquette, really, what you're describing in a way. Is there a
100%.
swag? Is there a swag etiquette aside from regifting rules? Any other rules that you like to let people know about or that are important to you as
Well,
far as
for one, this is the rule I generally use. I don't include anything in our gift bags that I wouldn't use myself, which is a number one rule, unless it's something that I can't use. It's like a very feminine specific product or something like that. But I like that as a general rule. And then whenever possible, it's stuff that I genuinely like in my real life. So Miage Skincare is my favorite skincare line. I've used it religiously for over 5 years. We include it in every gift bag that I do because I truly am a fan. Everybody I've introduced to this line ends up asking me if they can get more, meaning can I get more for free? But yes, they can always go to the Miage.com website and buy more of the skincare. But booze, for example, I've had a booze block in my kitchen as long as I can remember. And so we have these awesome, you'll see behind me, these booze blocks that we included this last year. So there's certain brands that come along where when I see them on the potential list, I'm like, oh my gosh, I genuinely love this product. Let's include them.
how should you thank the host? What's the etiquette there? Like for a swag bag, are there general rules that you like to follow?
Oh, if you're taking a host gift, it's something that they can, I think, use in their kitchen, especially if they're having you over for dinner. So, you know, anything that you think that would be like a nice little kitchen accessory, whether it's spices or nice maple syrup for them to use in the morning for breakfast. The one thing you should never take, this is sort of like the general rule, is something for them to serve that night. So don't bring them something that they feel like they have to now add to the menu when they've already taken all these, efforts to put together their menu.
Yeah, it's a good tip. Um, is there something specific about your swag bags that differ from other people that do this? Is there something that like a signature is included in your swag bags?
I should do like the little Laverne L thing from back in the day on the outside of all my bags. But no, I think that my signature is a more is more philosophy, meaning, it's like filled with items. Some you might actually use yourself if you're the celebrity recipient. Some you'll be able to regift to people that you love. And so it's going to be fun for someone, whether it's fun for you or it's fun for somebody in your life. And like I said, we always include things knowing that this isn't going to be for this person, but they'll have like a niece or nephew if they don't have children that they can give the games to, or if it's something children's oriented or something like that.
What was your worst night ever with like a swag story? Uh, do you
Oh,
have
wow. I don't think luckily, I haven't had that many bad swag stories. I mean, Prince wasn't great. But
one?
other than him, um, probably the only other negative celebrity experience I had was with Penny Marshall, to be honest, where she was, not particularly, she was having a bad night. And we were throwing her birthday party, and she was less than gracious at a time when she should have been, but she apologized afterwards. So that's all that really matters.
It happens. It's a high stress when you're putting together a party like that, isn't it? For everybody involved, including definitely for you guys. Well, how about your best night? What's something that, aside from meeting um, Barbara
Meeting Bette
Streisand?
Midler and Barbara Streisand are certainly up there. Like I don't know that anything beats those, to be honest. So it really is those like fun moments, just being backstage at, some of the world's biggest shows and events. And, sometimes to be honest, it's just like things that aren't even that glamorous. So there's like little moments backstage where you're talking to somebody and Like one year at the Grammys, I was like chatting with this guy and I just thought he was cute and we were just having a fun conversation and I loved his outfit. And I'm like, this outfit is just so great. He was like, yeah, well, I'm wearing it on stage. I'm like, oh, you're performing? And he was literally performing in the show and he was a huge musician. I just didn't know who he was. I think he was in Velvet Revolver or something back in the day. And so it's sometimes those cute little moments, or it's just moments where celebrities remind you that, sometimes celebrities get a bad rap, but like any experience I've had with LL Cool J, for example, we included his wife's jewelry line multiple years in the Grammys. She's got an incredible line called Simone I. Smith Jewelry. And he had agreed to do an interview with us with ET, and there was like a lot going on. He was hosting the show. And it was one of those moments where his person came in. He had every opportunity to be like, I got to bail on this. They're calling me. I got to go back to the stage. He held up his hand. He was like, you'll have to wait. I made a commitment to Lash and I need to finish this. And
For
when
him.
somebody stands up and is like an honorable person and does the right thing, even when they don't have to, like that's a moment I'll also always remember and I'll love him forever. And he's just such a sweet guy. And no matter how many times he tells me to call him Todd, I just cannot. And he calls me Grandmaster Lash, which I find adorable.
I like that. And now I've got a new favorite. I'm going to replace that with Sultan of Swing. I like
Grandmaster Lash is hard to beat for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. Um, okay, let's take our final break here and we'll come right back. Lash Fary is my special guest today. How does he say it? Grandmaster
Grandmaster
Lash?
Lash.
Grandmaster Lash.
But you got to say it like LL Cool J.
I know. See,
Grandmaster Lash is in the house. He does it
okay.
like in an inimitable way. Like I can't even replicate it. But there's something about LL saying it that's amazing.
Yeah, of course. And I won't even try to do it. But you did pretty well there. I like that.
I don't know. Hopefully I didn't come off racist because, it's like not great, but he does it amazingly.
No, no. Um, what do I say? Because I want people to find you on social media, but I don't want them to follow you. So Lash Fary on his Instagram, Swag Assets. Um, what do we say there,
I
Lash?
wish there were a get
What's
inspired
another?
button. I wish it were instead of a follow button, it was an inspire button.
Yes.
That way
How
you can
about?
get inspired by the different gift ideas, all the different great products. You can live like a star.
And who doesn't want that? So get inspired. That's my new one. I'm going to take it from you. Take it from the marketing guru and genius that he is. Swag Assets is the Instagram. Distinctive Assets. It's a niche marketing company offering celebrity placement and branding opportunities within the entertainment industry. Distinctive Assets connects products and services with celebrities and influencers and everyday people to create buzzworthy content. They've worked with so many distinctive assets. That is, has worked with so many top award shows. You want to check him out on his website, distinctiveassets.com. Lash Fary is here. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.